Hey everyone, welcome back. In today's video, we're going over how to sync your bookings and availability from the BNBForms widget with OTAs like Airbnb, Booking.com, and others. Keeping all your calendars in sync is crucial for avoiding double bookings, and I'll show you exactly how to set it up. If you're managing multiple platforms, this will save you a ton of time and keep your calendars aligned. Just one thing before we start, make sure the platforms you're using support the iCalendar file format. That's the key requirement for this to work smoothly. Alright, let's get into it. If you list your property on multiple online platforms and take bookings through the BNBForms widget, you can avoid overbooking by syncing all your channels with your site and each other. To sync your bookings across all channels, start by heading to your BNBForms dashboard. Navigate to Bookings. Here, it's important to mention that imported bookings are not displayed under the All Bookings list by default. Still, you can easily enable this option by checking the Display Imported Bookings circle. Great. Then, in the left-hand menu, select Sync Calendars. Here you'll find a list of all your accommodations, each with its unique URL, ready for synchronization. Setting up synchronization is a two-step process. First, you should export your calendar URL to external channels to notify them of bookings made on your site. Then, you need to import the calendar link to your site to keep it updated with bookings from those channels. Here is how it works. Bookings are downloaded from external platforms using the imported links. At the same time, external channels fetch bookings from your site using the exported links based on their update schedules. To export your calendars to external travel platforms, you need to use the Export Calendar link. Simply copy the URL and paste it into the designated field in the OTAs backend. Please remember that each accommodation has its own unique calendar URL. Another point I should highlight is that some OTAs might not accept the iCal URL if it doesn't contain bookings. If that happens, simply add at least one booking for the accommodation and try importing the link again. Now I'll show you how to import calendars from external channels to your website. First, go to the external channel, find the corresponding iCal file URL and copy it. As I've already mentioned today, each accommodation has its unique iCal link, so be careful not to mix them up. From your BNB dashboard, the Sync Calendar interface, hover your mouse over the accommodation you've chosen to work with and click Edit. And then click the Add New Calendar button. After that, paste the URL from the external platform for that accommodation. You can add as many URLs as needed from different channels. And once you've done this, click Update. Now we see this link is in the External Calendars column. This means that the accommodation is ready to sync with its external calendar. If needed, you can manually sync each accommodation across channels individually. Simply click on Sync External Calendars under the specific accommodation. When the process is complete, a screen will display the synchronization status of your external calendars and the total number of bookings received. By clicking View, you can access a detailed summary, including the dates that are now marked as unavailable for booking. Additionally, All these bookings will appear in the All Bookings and Calendar menus, which we'll explore later in this video. Great. You might be wondering why we need this download calendar link. Now let's break this down. With its help, you can manually download calendars from your site to your personal computer and then upload the iCal files to the OTAs. From our side, we can upload the iCal files from the external environment as well. Click Import Calendar, choose the needed file, and hit Open. And finally, upload the file and import it. This is a manual method for scenarios where, for example, the other party doesn't have an iCal link but has a file, or when bookings need to be imported just once or not frequently. After adding all the import and export calendars, we can move on to syncing your calendars manually or automatically. Let's say I want to sync manually first. For this, just hit that Sync All External Calendars button. Great! You can enable and configure the automatic sync under the Accommodation tab in the General Settings. Scroll down until you see the Calendar Synchronization Scheduler. But before you enable automatic sync, let's configure some settings in the Calendars Synchronization section. Here's where you can fine-tune your sync settings. Export admin blocks. Check this box to sync your site's booking rules with external platforms. This ensures that any dates you've blocked on your website, like maintenance days, are also blocked on other channels, preventing overbookings. The next option is Do Not Export Imported Bookings. If you're syncing across multiple platforms like Booking.com and BNB and your website, this setting is key. When this option is enabled, your website only exports direct bookings, not imported ones. And when this option is disabled, your website exports both direct and imported bookings, keeping all connected calendars in sync. Got buffer time between bookings for cleaning or prep? Check this box. The system will include buffers when syncing bookings across platforms. Buffer time settings can be adjusted in the Booking Rules menu. Remember, you can apply it to all properties, specific ones, or certain seasons. So if you've set buffer times and enabled this option, the system makes sure those gaps are considered, preventing any scheduling overlaps. Okay, and the minimize logs option is checked by default. Alright, finally, let's set up automatic sync. First, check the Enable Automatic External Calendar Synchronization option. Next, in the clock field, set the time for the first booking. Keep in mind that this works in UTC. Then, in the interval field, decide how often the system should sync. You've got a few options: every 15 minutes, every 30 minutes, hourly, twice a day, or once a day. As for the external booking platforms, you should check their documentation to learn how often they import bookings. Now here is something important. Syncing only happens when someone visits your website. So if there is no one's browsing, the system won't sync at that moment, but as soon as there is activity, it kicks in and updates your bookings. You can also choose how often to clear out old sync logs, daily, weekly, monthly, and so on. We recommend going with daily to keep things clean and running smoothly. Once everything's set, just hit save and you're good to go. Alright, let's head over to all bookings. Now that we've synced everything, you'll notice a new tab, Imported Bookings. Let's click on it. Here we can see all the bookings that were pulled in from external platforms. If I open one, I get the check-in and check-out dates, logs with the summary and description, plus such details as accommodation name and guest count. So, what's not included? Prices, guest contact details, extra services. That's because iCal synchronization is all about preventing overbooking. The key info here is check-in and check-out dates. Some platforms might also include the guest's name or booking ID to help identify reservations. If needed, you can even edit the imported booking right here. Now let's switch to the admin calendar. See those blue bookings? That's your imported data, color-coded for easy identification. Click on any of them to check the details or even edit them if necessary. Finally, let's see how automatic synchronization is going. For this, just hit the Calendar's Sync Status button, and there it is. The system syncs once an hour, exactly as planned. So you get a truly hands-free experience. Now let's talk about what happens when a booking is cancelled on the original platform. By default, there is no universal status that tells other platforms a booking has been removed. Instead, when a booking is cancelled, it simply disappears from the iCal file. Whether the imported booking is removed depends on how the external platform handles sync. Some platforms automatically delete bookings if they are missing from the iCal file during the next import session. Others ignore the change, meaning you may need to remove cancelled bookings manually. As for the BNBForms, it removes imported bookings that have been cancelled or deleted on the external platform. Alright, to wrap it up, syncing your calendars across all platforms is easier than it sounds once you know the steps. And don't forget about the automatic sync option. Set it up and your system will keep things updated hands-free. Now that you've got the process down, you'll avoid overbookings and keep everything in sync across your channels, and that's the power of proper calendar synchronization. If this video helped, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more tips and tricks. We'll see you next time with more ways to simplify your booking process. Have a good one.